1 year that we had the season. So with that, I guess I come back to on the 09 or on the 08 plan. I agree that our basis is the 2002 legislative approved plan, and whether we suspend the 2008 or don't suspend it, I guess I'd like to see what are the benefits. I guess are we going to shoot ourselves in the foot by doing it, or are we going to help ourselves? I guess that's the question for both.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Power, I think that there is a difference between taking no action on the plan versus suspending the plan versus requiring changes to the plan. In terms of the status of the Ninth Circuit appeal that is based on the 2009 delisting rule, which is based on the 2002 approved plan, but as I mentioned, it does refer to the 2008-2012 management plan. So to the extent the commission required changes, it would depend on the extent of those changes as to what the effect on the appeal might be. I do not think that either taking no action on the plan or suspending the plan would affect the Ninth Circuit appeal, because that would not be a change in state or department actions. It may also have some effect on legislative solutions that are tied to the 2009 or delisting rules or similar activities, if the commission were to require changes to the plan. And I guess from a legal perspective, it's difficult to require changes to the plan when you do not at this point know what the delisting path is, and so you may set yourself up for having to make further changes once that path becomes more clear. So from a legal standpoint of cost-benefit analysis, either taking no action or suspending the plan would be preferable, as opposed to trying to guess what changes one would make to the plan given the level of uncertainty.
Thank you, Kathleen. Mr. Hensley, do you have any comments along those lines?
Well, Commissioners, I guess I look at this from a couple different perspectives, and I agree with Kathleen that right now there's a great deal of uncertainty. And I think from the governor's perspective, what we want to do is make it clear that the Idaho 2002 Wolf Management Plan that was approved by the legislature is the state's management plan. Subsequent documents, subsequent actions by the commission and by the department are just that. In my mind, they either complement or they implement the 2002 management plan. And I think what we're trying to do with the federal government is make sure they understand that, and we're trying to explain that to them. As you look at this today, given the uncertainty that Kathleen's presented, I think you're faced with another type of uncertainty, and that is we're coming to the end of the 2008-2012 lifespan of that plan itself. And I guess the question is, where do we go from here? And I think that uncertainty of having to come up with a new 5-year plan is something we need to take a look at as well, because the feds will be looking at that and asking the question, well, what are you going to do in terms of your next 5 years in order for them to evaluate probably the next round of delisting as well. So I think it's one of those situations where there may not be a right answer, but I think what the governor hopes to do is maintain the 2002 state plan and help you and the federal government work through the process of coming up with how we're going to implement the 2002 management plan and what that looks like.
Okay, thanks, David. And